Hey, Coro. I'm not sure if you can hear me. I haven't even tested anything out. Okay, good. Good. So there is audio. All right. Just give me a second. I need to close off some stuff. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Hey, Tommy. Hi, Linda. Um, yeah, so I'm just testing out. Um, so there is this application for my camera to turn it into a webcam. Just wanted to see how that works and how it works over OBS. Um, so I'm just playing around with it. So like I see nobody was streaming. I think the last person that is streamed today was June, who I think finished like very early in the morning because she probably streamed overnight. So I just decided, let me turn it on because people might show up and I'm kind of bored because I'm doing updates for work. So I'm doing some of my work at the same time and just waiting for things to complete, and it just takes so long. Um, if I'm not, I'm gonna fall asleep. Mm. And today I'm working from home because they're doing some construction on the building that I work. I'm usually at the office from Monday to Thursday, but just this week, um, they're. I don't know if it's gonna be the same next week. To be truthful, I know that they're doing construction in there, and it takes them a few days to complete. Um, hopefully, hopefully they get it done because it's easier for me to get things done sometimes at the office, and I'm not just gonna fall behind again. Hello, Jeff. How are you? Um, Cora, right now this is the my dirty tank. This is once upon a time I had like a dirty tank running for like 2 3 years. I had to basically tear it apart because I had to move all my tanks. So I remade it. It's running, but now I'm thinking I'm probably gonna have to do it again because I'm gonna have to end up moving in a couple of months again. I wasn't expecting to move because we just wanted to renew our leasing here, but the owner of the building of the unit is basically going to um, be selling it to a relative, and they don't want to renew the lease with us. So we're gonna end up having to move. So yeah, that kind of messed up with a lot of my plans on stuff that I was gonna do. I might just keep the stank and move it um, as is to where I'm going. Um, but I still have to figure that out. I still have until the end of April to figure that out. But yeah, I have some rice fish on it. They're supposed to be the tricolor. I know that they look very pale, but I think it's just there's a big difference when you put them outside. Like they get such a vibrant, really cool colors, and when you have them inside, they look way more pale, and they do look much better when you look at them from the top. But yeah, hey Ray Laser, um, hope everybody's doing fine today. Yep, the sun is magical. I did not like when I got this fish. This is one of those things that if you see on eBay, um, like you can buy rice fish eggs from Japan. So I was very skeptical about it. I didn't know what was gonna be like a if it was gonna work or not. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna order, see what happens. Uh, I kind of messed up because I kind of like put the eggs. I should have just left them on the left them by themselves and just let them hatch and then from there transfer them. But I did not. I was just putting it in different containers, see what will work, and obviously a lot of stuff that I tried failed. Um, but I had some managed to grow them. I had a couple of them, like I had eggs on them, and I put them outside and left them alone, and those are growing and looking beautiful. But yeah, I still have to. That also, I have to figure out what I'm going to do with those outside. Um, I know my father-in-law, who likes to keep fish as well. He just moved to his new house. He was going to set up tanks and do stuff. He has a lot of space, so maybe I can take them in there until we end up moving uh, to a permanent place. Um, but yeah, I'm still not sure. I'm still like I just find we just found out that we have to move basically. So like it has me a little bit rattled because I had so many plans on doing escapes and stuff. But yeah, but like Jeff, it's not as clean as you might think it is. Like you probably see it. I mean, it probably comes out in video. It looks like a little greenish. Like I know I can tell like the water just because it's a dirty tank, the water turns like this yellowish color. Um, and I do have a lot of algae growing in the glass constantly. Um, so constantly I'm like, this is the tank that I'm probably doing the most work on. So that's the bad thing, I guess, about dirty tanks. They do require a good amount of work when you have them started. There is like, like the water never really gets like super clear. At least for me, never did. Even with the one that I had running for like many years, um, like always had like that yellowish thin, like a little bit like tannins on there. Like they never really went away. And it might be also because I don't use like I know like the filter fish method is to use like 2-3 inches of sand, and I don't do that. I use just different types of gravel and sand, and it's definitely not a thick layer. It's a much thinner layer whenever I use it. But it just for me it kind of like works a little bit better just because the plants that I usually use are like smaller plants, and smaller plants have smaller roots. And yeah, they do better if they have access to the nutrients early on. Yeah, and Coro, I would say like I guess it's the scariest part is because you're basically sending your money to somebody that you just don't have any idea if they're actually going to send you something, and then after you send it, because it takes a while to get it as well. Like you don't know if you're gonna get and it's not cheap. Like they sell those for like $100. $100 you get 30 eggs, and that's the possibility of getting like maybe half of them to hatch. And that's I basically got like 10 of them to hatch out of those. um and then from there I basically just started. But I mean, if you want eggs, um I can definitely try to send some. I never actually done that. I'm not even sure how much of the methylene blue do I need to add to the water or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, at this point, I know like they're producing eggs, and that's the other part of it about them. Like a lot of people say that they leave their eggs on the floating plants and stuff, and at the beginning they did. I would find them on the floating plants, but not anymore. And I was thinking like, oh, maybe something's eating them, maybe they're eating them, but no, they're going to the bottom now. They're going to the bottom of the of the tank, going between the plants and leaving the eggs in there. And unfortunately, on this tank, I also have scuds. So the eggs are not making it, basically. Um, every once in a while, I see, like right now, there's a female in there. I don't know if you can see her, but she has eggs attached to her right now. I could basically get that female, grab some of those eggs, and put them on the side. Um, I was thinking about just maybe setting up another smaller tank just for them to spawn at me to grab a bunch of eggs and then move them back. But now that I'm moving, I'm just not even gonna bother. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. And moving is stressful, and um, yeah, and like Jeff said, it sometimes is good for a change, and like, but the part that kind of like frustrates me, I guess, the most is just what was it, October, or a little bit like at the beginning of October, or actually the end of September. Like, they did something here in the building that they had to dent the whole building, so I had to move everything out of here, like all my tanks out. I had to basically tear down a lot of stuff and move what I could where I could, and then move that stuff back, and then sort of try to start to rebuild. After that, I mean, I was just about thinking about doing it during the summer, but now it's like, oh, wait, no, now you really can't. You have to tear it up again, or the very little that I already had, like, rebuilt from that point, like redo it again, and really start over once more. And I still gotta see how it's gonna be the move. I'm like not even 100% sure how that's gonna happen, but like when the time comes, I'll figure it out. All I know at this point is I probably have to like um, tear out some stuff, sell some stuff. I know, like, I have some uh, pygmy sunfish. Those are those are difficult to keep, not because the fish are that are not hardy. They are, but you do have to feed them live foods and all that, and it that's what makes it a little bit difficult to keeping like live cultures of whatever it is that you want. And like most of the times, what I do is to just end up catching scuds from another tank that I'm gonna have to tear down and feed that to them, because then they get to feed. I feed them like twice a week. I grab as many scuds as I can, put it all in there. They're happy. Every once in a while, I get brine shrimp. I feed them that. Hatch baby brine shrimp. I feed them that. Uh, but yeah, like, I know that whenever I move during that time, it's just not gonna, like, I don't want to keep them. Uh, I might get them again in the future, but they're not as happy. They're not as easy just because of that. Hey, Geek Boy. Hello, Vinoski. Hey, Fisherman. How are you? Fisherman, did you actually move to Florida, or you were just here visiting? So I saw that you were in Florida, and I think you were in South Florida. So, but I wasn't sure exactly where. I see. Okay. Well, I'm glad people are joining. I wasn't even sure. I'm like, I was just here playing with the cameras and trying to figure some of this OBS stuff out. Um, give me 1 second. I'm gonna make another change. Hopefully, this works or not. Let's see. I'm not sure if that worked or not. Mm, let's see how that works. That does not look good. I changed it a moment ago. And maybe it doesn't let me do it after the fact. I'm trying to change the size or resolution of this screen. Yeah, it's definitely not letting me change the camera for whatever reason. And it might be one of those things that I need to change when it's not active in OBS. Yeah, the resize output size is not happening. And if I can actually change it, yeah, it's not gonna let me change it. That's regrettable. All right. Yeah, I don't know if the fish from link would connect. I mean, I know that I'm on fish from link, but I don't know if there is something that I need to check since I never streamed. Like this is technically like my very first stream in my channel. So I don't know if I have to go in there and put something in there, say like, yeah, you can go and do whatever you do in there. Never looked into it. Like this was just right now out of the complete blue. That I just started to stream just because nobody else was. And by all means, if somebody starts streaming, just please let me know because I will end it right away, and we'll go wherever we need to go next. Thank you, KJ. Thank you, Keith. And actually, I have. Nah, I wish I could move it. But eventually, I guess I'll post that video. I actually like some of the botanicals that I got, like the TD pack. I used in another tank that I had already set up. It was gonna be my daughter wanted another betta. It's been already set up for a bit. We're gonna go and get another betta, but like again, I'm not gonna get anything for a while. So I may actually end up transferring my other betta into that one, break down the other one. I still have to see. But I have like the botanicals on that one, and they look really cool. Yeah, we gotta see. Again, I think there is something that I have to put um on because I remember I think it was mentioned at one point or another that there is something that you have to go into your fish rumbling thing and say that you are actually somebody that streams regularly and you have to check it. And then there is another thing now that you have to check to have that added. Um, so I'm pretty sure it's just those things that just need to be checked because just I didn't have them checked. I'm sure it takes some extra work for Fish from Link to find all the live streams, and the least people that are checked on is probably the better for it because I'm sure it's going through a list constantly checking, hey, are you live or not? Yeah, I don't know if I want to stream Geek Boy. I mean, again, I'm just doing it kind of like spur of the moment because I was playing with OBS while I was doing some other stuff and for my work. Um, that is just taking a lot of time, and yeah, that's kind of it. Like, and nobody else was streaming. There's nothing on chat, so this is the time that I get Rico usually goes. So you know, exclamation point pellets. Be fun to catch Pokemons at this time, but can't happen without Rico. I hope he's doing okay though. I know that he was just not feeling great, so hopefully he's well. And how's everybody else doing this fine day? See if the other one will catch up to that one. Top chat. What? Why do they even have a top chat? I don't get it. It just doesn't make sense to me to have an option for that, something like that. Just keep it alive. It's never bad enough, and if he ever gets bad enough, can just delay the comments. Yep, everybody should go and spend money at KJ. That's for sure. You have like that, like the price of the botanicals is just so much better than anywhere else. Like that alone should just make you want to go and buy anything else that you need from them because you're getting such a good deal. I think everybody else just I don't know. I don't know why is it that everybody else sells it so expensive if KJ is able to sell it at the price that he does. And like it's not that even that he's giving you a small amount. He gives you a really good amount of botanicals for the price. And like I gone to my local fish store here and like I buy like one little pot like of like I can't remember what's the name of those pots. The one that have like a bunch of little holes inside of it. Um, one of those was like $8. $8 for just one pot. And KJE sells, I believe the the pack that he has with Foxy is around that price with a bunch of other stuff. I'd actually probably think it's even cheaper than that, and it has a bunch of other stuff. It's yeah, it doesn't make like that made me realize I'm like, okay, how is it that this makes sense for them? I'm guessing it is because just they don't sell like they buy in smaller amounts, but yeah, buy a KJ. That that should be the motto. Everybody just should go buying botanicals from there. Like I no doubt. Yeah, and that's the way it should be. I mean, it's I get it that this is for profit and even for them. And I guess it's like maybe it's how crazy the prices are in here in South Florida that everything is just going so crazy up in price. But like to charge that amount for for a pot, yeah, it's a little crazy. Yeah. I mean, you can probably sell it. I mean, again, I don't know. Maybe for all I know, maybe they're just that expensive because it has to be that expensive because of wherever they're shipping it from. It's just costing them that much extra because they're not ordering a ton. Maybe I'm being unfair, um, but yeah, No, and I definitely agree. I definitely agree that, I mean, KJE is a business. It's not charity. He has to make profit in order for him to be able to buy more products and do more stuff. So if we're able to buy it, we're able to buy it. Yeah, there definitely are. They're definitely overpriced. I'm surprised that even like Amazon has some of those botanicals, and they're like much more expensive. Even looking up in Amazon, like, not that I will buy that from Amazon because I wouldn't trust wherever it comes from. I mean, botanicals is one of those things that you just have to put it straight out into your tank, and I'm not sure if I would trust it. I don't want to have to boil anything uh, to before I put it on my tank, or having to do anything weird to it, before I put it on my tank, just because I'm afraid of whatever it may have come from. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the elder cones. Yeah, and I use, and like, I don't know. I mean, like, for the amount that I got from those 2 packs, DD packs that I got, I'm still have plenty. Like I the only one thing that I want to do, and I probably do it after I moved and everything, is like I want to try the palm. I think there was like the palm sticks or the pots that they had on the website. Um, but hopefully by that time I'm able to like be settled on everything. I want to buy some plants as well, some pond plants and stuff. I want to do something for that. Now it's my plan for later the year. But again, plans change, so I'm gonna have to wait a little longer. Yeah, Amazon has the shipping built in, and I guess that helps. But I still wouldn't trust a lot of things like botanicals, because again, I don't know where, like, if you order botanicals from Amazon, you really don't know where they're coming from. And again, botanicals is one of those things that you just straight up put into your tank. There's no, like, they're not pre-packed to even, like, you kind of know, like, okay, they came from a good source. Like when you buy fish food from Amazon, fine, you buy fish food. I mean, it all comes from, you're buying Hakari food, regardless if you buy it from Amazon, the fish store, or whatever. If it's sealed, it comes from that source, and you could put it in your tank sort of safely. Um, as long as you don't overfeed, obviously. But botanicals is different. I don't know. I wouldn't do that. And yeah, I mean, yeah, you use some food too. So again, that's one of those reasons. Like, if you're going to go buy botanicals, might as well just buy all the other stuff that you need, because you're gonna have to pay for the shipping for the one thing. You can add on and just get all the rest of the stuff and make it all one big purchase. So everybody should do that. And that's kind of like I was waiting. I'm gonna probably still do it coming the summer. Just plants, plants, and buy some more botanicals, because I do like those. All right, I do like those pots. The twisty pots are pretty cool too. The light is spot. people on the stream. Let's try this one more time. Let's see if I can do it from here. Move that out of the way and let's do this. Do that. I wonder if which one the link is broken. It says in here that there is one person live, and it's June. Well, actually, everybody looks like it's live, but let's see what the schedule is for today. Okay, today we have a birthday. Oh, 3G. 3G's birthday today. Rico's supposed to be going now, and JT is going at 2 p.m. Leaves and reaps from 4 to 5. Good. I'm gonna just keep this open until that time. Quality Delirium, how are you? I don't know if I say hi, Red Laser, but hello. How are you? Yeah, we have. There are no streams until 2, so I might just keep it up until 2. But I really don't have anything to talk about. It was just kind of a spur of the moment for me to test out these cameras that I have in here. And the DSLR is actually outdoing much more than the other ones. And I'm not able to change my other camera, unfortunately. Because this is Not able to resize the size on that. And I was gonna do if I stop OBS in the middle of it, of the stream. I don't know if YouTube Studio will just end the stream or not. So I'm just doing it through from YouTube Studio using OBS as a virtual camera. Let me just stop it and see what happens. If it cuts off, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. um, but I have to test these out. So 1 second. All right, there you go. That is showing something. So this camera I'm trying out is basically it's basically a security camera. It does not, obviously, it doesn't work well for like putting it on in front of a fish tank and doing any kind of streaming because it's all very blurry. But it does at least let me try out some stuff on the camera itself. I'm trying out to see if um, if I can do motion detection and stuff like that on the cameras and emails, email responses on those motion detections. It's just more for work than anything else, but at least I get to play around with it and look at my fish tanks while I do the kind of stuff. I do need to figure out if there is a cheaper way to do DVR systems over Windows. And a lot of the stuff usually requires licensing and stuff. And 90% of the time, I'd rather just buy a DVR system and or an NVR system, and just avoid the headache. But um, when you have a lot of alerts and stuff, then if you want to set it up, then it's just usually those work better. But just want to see if there is a good free one that I can try. So this is another thing that I was working on, the stand in particular. I found out of my blue neocaridina shrimp, I found two that had white eyes, like really white eyes. And I know, like you guys probably watched the Cardinal Reader. Like that is not something that you find on neocaridina. Like that is very rare. Usually, if you find like shrimp that have clear eyes, they still have like the I guess I don't know how you call it, the pupil um, that is still like black, but these are completely white or like yellow. Um, so I kind of like put them on the side. Um, the two that I found are male shrimp. I put them in there with uh, two females and just see what happens. Um, See if I get more of those. And I'm paying attention to the small ball that I had, the other ones, um, and see if there is any more that come up with like those eyes. Um, it was it was kind of a surprise to me to find them. I had seen them before I had to like move all my things in and out. There was oh, I can see that there is a detritus swarming there too, swarming around. I have to go and clean that out. Um, I did find that there was Uh, like on that bowl, I noticed that there was an albino shrimp, and when I mean albino, it was completely white, head to toe white. Like the eyes were also white, which usually if you find like a wild one that comes out of out of there, like it's because it came out with no color. Usually comes out and like there's a little bit of hint of red on the top, and like the eyes are usually dark, like you can tell the eyes. But I found like, oh, there's full white out of there, and like I was not able to catch it. Like I don't know where it went. Like it hid himself. So I just left it. I was like, yeah, okay, well, we'll see what happens with that. Maybe we'll just ruin my blue shrimp. Um, I kind of forgot about it. Had to put them away. I couldn't even um, see them from where I had them um, for those few weeks. Uh, when I came, when I brought everything back and I started to look, I'm like, I couldn't find it. I didn't see anything weird with the blue shrimp at all. So I just left it at that. But now I'm finding, I'm finding those like, and then one thing that I noticed that also those particular, because I have two bowls, blue shrimp. What I noticed in that one is that those blue shrimp obviously have like a not not good coloration on the body, but their eyes are that clearer. Like, while they're not black, they're kind of like a yellowish brown. You can still see the pupils are dark, but they're definitely not as dark as the other shrimp that I have on the other bowl. Like the other bowl, like the shrimp are dark. They're very dark blue. Uh, so I'm trying to see if anything is going to come out of that. I don't have my hopes up on that one because I think it's just one of those things. I mean, at this point, I heard, you know, from other people saying like, ah, they people that have found those shrimp that have those white or yellowish eyes, and nothing came of it. Haven't seen anything like that on the market. Um, I haven't seen anybody else having anything like that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I am hopeful that maybe I'll just at least get, um, even if they're not good coloration, then I'll just get a couple more of those. It'd be kind of cool to be able to have them because you only see those on Caradina, and Neos are so much easier to keep. And that's the other part too. I'm like, I had like the tank that is right next to this one was going to be a Caradina tank, like a small Caradina tank that was gonna try to keep some of them again. At one point, I had actually blue bolts, and I kept them for several months. But like, just because it wasn't like I had too much stuff on it, like I think the water parameters is very hard to keep them. And even doing the water changes and with my work traveling schedule, it was just not. I was not keeping it well, and eventually it just crashed. And little by little, they were starting to disappear. So it wasn't like they all died at the same time. It was like they were not reproducing. They stopped reproducing. Like the beginning of it, they had a bunch of little shrimp. Not that many of them were making it. Then after that, and then little by little, like where I had 10 as at one point, then I had 20. Then it started to go down from there, which was kind of sad, especially because they're very expensive to get those. Like now, I think they're like $15 per shrimp or something like that. Um, but yeah, I want to try, and I actually want to get some reddish ones, and I'm not exactly sure which ones, but yeah, I was gonna go to the garden over either and get some shrimp from them, but I have to wait again. I hate the waiting; it frustrates me. that's one of the reasons, right? I mean, I think it's everybody that multiple task syndrome probably comes from impatience. We all want to have something going on at one point or another, and I think that's why we end up getting another tank. Like while we wait for something to happen in this tank, you concentrate on the other, and then yeah. Let's see if I can change it one more time. Oh, this one's very small now because I need to stop this and change it. Um, Size, yes, start. No, cancel that. Start this. Everybody is very quiet. I said, maybe I'm doing something wrong here. Or maybe nobody can hear me. I'm just talking to myself. Okay, good. At least I know that you guys can hear me. So you can hear my semi rants. Good. Good. I'm glad to keep you a little bit of company, at least until we're gonna try to make it to 2. That's my goal. I'm gonna try to make it to 2 p.m. and because somebody else will be streaming by then. I agree 100%. This whole thing of working for money is not really working out for me either. Like, I want free stuff all the time. I don't want to work anymore. It takes the fun out of it. Having like, I think it's just the knowledge that I mean, like. It's not that I don't enjoy my work. I do. I like tinkering with stuff. Um, but it's just the fact that you have to meet deadlines and you have to do what you have to do. It's just that's the part that I just don't like. I do enjoy my work a lot. I do like to work in IT, but again, deadlines just don't go well with me. I think the only good part about where I'm working right now is that unlike my previous job, there I am not required to participate in as many meetings. And I noticed that at least I guess they had that on them to not include me on unnecessary meetings. And I just realized that um, maybe a week ago or so, I was traveling. Um, I was working from Key West, and they usually, I know that they have meetings on Thursdays, that they have like a meeting between like those managers over there. What I didn't realize is that everybody basically from my office joins that meeting to just listen in and say, we got it. Um, and I've never been asked to do that, which I would have obviously hated that so much. But just because I was there already, I sort of had to join, and there was some IT related stuff that I needed to mention while I was in the meeting. So I'm grateful, I guess, for that part that I am not have to be included in every single one of those meetings. I know, like it's like I guess it's like the more corporate the bigger the corporation, the more meetings it requires. And I absolutely hate that. I remember my last job, like it started as a small company that was growing, and it grew because it got purchased by this other entity that just owns way more stuff. And it became like a daily, like every morning at 9:30 a.m. you have to go in there and basically talk about your day for 30 minutes to an hour, with everybody. And I just hated that. And then, like, you made it even worse is that later in the week you actually have to also meet with your with the director to go over the same stuff that you just mentioned in the meeting. It's just like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It was one of those things that just slowly kills your soul. That's the best way I can put it. And yeah, you know what, Geek Boy? Yes, the IT meetings. If you're into IT, obviously they're way more interesting because you do bound. Sometimes they're useful. Every day, I don't think it's useful. Like if you're having a meeting every day and you find it useful, there's something very wrong in however you're doing your operation. If you're doing it once a week and it's solving the stuff, then that's optimal. Because I guess yeah, it is good for everybody to know where they are, but to know where you are every day to basically say the same thing you say yesterday, um, I don't know. That's just you're killing time, or you're basically making the director show that he's doing work. I think that's what it was. It's just one of those things that, oh yeah, I had to show work. And I did like it at the very beginning when we were like when that small company I used to work for IT got basically acquired by a bigger IT company and I started working for them. It was a lot of fun because before it was just basically me and another two older dudes that, like, I don't know. I mean, like at that point, my perspective in most IT is like most of them were a-holes because they were. But when I was working with those guys at the very beginning, it was a lot of fun because I learned a lot from them and they were actually like, problem solvers and like they will go through the whole, like they had like they had a good amount of knowledge on what they did and they did not they feel like they needed to share that knowledge, not just keep it by themselves or be like complete a-holes about uh, how useful they were or not. They just see it as like, hey, if I teach you how to fix this, then I don't have to fix it next time. And I enjoy working at. Unfortunately, those people are the people that usually don't stay also in companies that start to grow and do weird stuff. So yeah, eventually they left the company. Eventually I left the company. I started working for somebody else. Yeah. ITs, a-holes. Yeah. It's rare, right? Very rare. And that's the other part. I mean, like the IT work that I do, I work for hotels. So it's a weird combination on the kind of training that I got because when I started to work for IT, I worked for an IT company that did support for IT people in Latin America. So I had to deal basically, I was more like a technical IT translation system between like uh, between US and Latin America for that job. And then when I started working for IT for hotels, it's different because the hotel culture is different. Um, or at least when you work for a high-end hotel, like they start to do like this whole how you speak training, how you approach training. Like you never really say no, or there is ways to say no without saying no. Um, you know, uh, to do the whole customer service part of it, which was interesting. And like I know like it changed me a lot. I know that I don't curse as much as I used to just because of that training, just because of the way that you have to actually speak at work and do all this stuff. So the professional lingo, basically. Aquarium Daily, Andrew, how are you? Sorry, I didn't say hi earlier, but I'm new to this, so um, chat just. I mean, I know that they're like people are not chatting as much, but like this whole thing of having to read everything, this is new to me. Aqua Garden Sun, hello. Fisherman says, I'm curious about the black beer algae on the right of the tank. Uh, right of the tank, like here. Uh, That I don't know. I don't. That's not. I think that's just a reflection because I have some flowers in here that. So maybe that's what it was. Or maybe I'm thinking. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it on the opposite side. You're thinking about the other side, but I don't think I have any black beer algae on that specific tank. I used to have tank. I think I only had like black beer algae like one time that I had it on this other tank in here that is a complete mess right now, and I cannot don't even have a way to show it at the moment. Hey, Fishion, how are you? Biggies, how are you? Yeah, and that tank that I'm showing, I don't think I have like other the diatom algae that gets on everything. I don't think I have algae on it. I think I start to see like a little bit of that fuzzy algae on some of the leaves on that red tiger lotus on top. But I think I cut off the ones that were like that. Yeah, I like, and it will be very hard for that one to get algae as well, just because it doesn't get a lot of light. Like the light that it has, like those. I got that tank at Petco. It's one of those. I can't even remember the name of the tank. Um, but it comes with its own light. And at one point, I had a different light on it, but I just put the same one that I had before, um, and it works just fine for what it is. Because I want all the plants that are on the bottom are basically Anubias and Bucephalandra. They don't require a lot of light. Um, I do have some botanicals. Let me see if I can actually do this a little bit. I do have some botanicals in there on the top, on the bottom. Sorry. Uh, some of the stuff, not a lot. There's um, almond leaf on the back for the betta. So no, I'm like, I noticed that that betta has like a I don't know if it's like fin rod or what it was. I mean, I know that when I had to move it, it's the betta definitely had fin rod, and I had to treat the betta, and I think it looked much better at that point. But then I moved into this tank, and this tank has botanicals and everything, and I thought it would be good enough, and I do water changes on it, but I do notice that it's not improving, and it might just be the way the beta is now. I mean, it might just not change. I don't think it is. It looks sometimes I think it looks like frame rot, but when I look at it closer, it doesn't have any of the uh, darkening on the tips. The tips look very light and white, like the color of the fins. So it may just be the way it is. There's a lot of condensation in that, so you cannot even see the part on the back, but I have. Let's see if I can just remove this for now and just show it real quick. I have all those plants in there that are growing out on the top. And yeah, all the botanicals. I have a mister in the back because this is one of those tanks that has like a all-in-one filter. Yeah. Hola, Sunny. ¿Cómo estás? Yeah, I'm just here. I don't even know. Like kind of like last moment thing. I decided to go live because I'm playing with cameras and OBS, and nobody else was streaming. So I decided to just pop in like probably another 20 minutes and then I'll just get off. So I think there is, I think JT is streaming and somebody else. Who else? Who else? The Fish Room is streaming and JT is streaming. So there'll be stuff to actually go with people that actually know what they're doing that you can go, guys, can go watch. Because I have no idea what I'm doing here. But I'm glad everybody's here and everybody's, you know, joining me on my board on my hangout. I like OBS. It actually makes things a little bit easier to deal with. The main reason I want to use OBS really is not because of streaming. It's because I want to see if I can use multiple cameras for recording, and if I'm able to figure that out and do it properly, then that will make it much easier if I ever have to make another video. Because I have another, so the DSLR camera that I have is a Nikon C6, and it's not really my camera, it's my wife's. She does, or she used to do food photography. So having you know, a mirrorless professional camera definitely helps at my disposal. But before the C6, she had um, another DSLR, which was also a Nikon. I think it was a D3600. And I think that one can also be put on OBS um, using the application. If so, then I may be able to use both, or at least recording one and attach that one to OBS, record the other one, can just record on it. And it will make it better just because I want that to store the video directly into the computer versus having to store it in the on the memory in the camera, because I think the memory that I have is only like 32 gigs, and the ones specifically for this camera are very expensive and I don't want to spend the money for it. That would make it easier, because even when I'd have to transfer those 32 gigs, of memory into the computer, it takes like 40 minutes to do that transfer. Yeah, KJ. So I have funny stories about that because my wife had to do that. Obviously, there's a lot of places even here. Like one of the things about her food blog is that she has celiacs, so she went to a lot of these places that were gluten free. If you ever eating gluten free food, it's not that good when it's cold. The reason is because, if you buy like bread, anything that is bread related, the moment it gets cold, it gets like really hard, really fast. Um, so a lot of times that we went to like burger places or stuff like that, or um, we'll order food, and then she will take a very long time taking pictures and doing all the stuff, and then by the time we eat, the food wasn't that great. So yeah, I always make fun of her too because she had to do some funny stuff sometimes to take pictures, like to block light. She had to like carry this stuff, and like I had pictures of her just blocking the light and doing stuff while trying to take pictures. And I guess now she could basically return the favor because whenever I have to take pictures of a fishbowl, in particular, I have to darken everything else around it. Ah, man, Aqua Gardens, and I want some French toast. I haven't had any in such a long time. I've been thinking about it. Like, I want to go somewhere and just have French toast. I don't really want to make it. This just seems way more work than. Yeah. And Jeff, one of the things about OBS is I think is you just gotta play with it. Um, if you download it and you start just, you don't have to even start streaming. You just have to connect your camera and then connect a couple other things. And once you start playing with it, you will see what you can do. I really don't use it the way Rico does. I mean, Rico has a bunch of other stuff plugged into it. The only thing I want it for is to be able to record multiple things, um, and that will help me on that aspect. But yeah, yeah, and that's true, Geek Boy. Yes, that video that you guys did with Bex on OBS was basically what got me through the setup on what I'm using right now. Because I know like I only needed a couple of things, but at least gave me an understanding of how to, okay, I have to connect this, I have to do this, and this is the very basics of what we need. And if, how do you layer it out? It is a shame that, yeah, she took it down. I'm not sure if she completely needed it or she just unlisted it. It's sad. I mean, I do miss specs, um, but I know that she has her reasons, and gotta respect them. Yeah, that is not a bad idea, Jeff. It's probably Steven and Geek Boy can probably make something. And like reality is, there are some stuff already. Like if you Google it, there's some OBS stuff um, already. But I think he should definitely show at least the stuff that he did for the wheel. I think that was the most impressive part of it, and especially now because he's basically using the wheel from through Restaurant Lake. So at that time, I think he was using the wheel with StreamYard or whoever that he uses. So it will be a good update for him. Yeah, and exactly, Giboy. I want to use OBS to do that time lapse recording, and if I'm able to do some stuff where I can, some of the cameras you can actually do some settings in there that it detects movement and it starts recording and in directly into the a memory card in the camera itself. Um, I want to do that too. So I have, like 'cause some of the security cameras in particular have, the mainstream and the substream. So if you can do the mainstream on OBS and do whatever it needs to do, and then do the substream, and then it's recording whatever movement, then you have, you know, double the footage. One that is doing a time lapse and another one that is doing the actual recording of what you see as a movement. So I'm playing around with that, but I'm not sure how successful that will be. That's the only part. Yeah. How to Discord stream? Yeah, I gotta say, like I got into Discord just because of like everybody else putting the link in there. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it. It is pretty entertaining, but I'm pretty sure I am not using it to its potential. I'm pretty sure that there is more in there that you can do on Discord than just put emojis on everybody else's comments. That tank that you're seeing right there, Aqua Garden, it's I believe it is a 7 gallons. But I'm more than sure that there's only like 5 gallons or maybe less of water, just because I don't fill it up to the very top. Because I have some plants on the top that are growing immersed, and the part on the back obviously holds some water. But yeah, I like that's the thing about I'm not crazy about the all-in-ones, but at least this one has like a curve part to it, so it doesn't take like a quarter of the tank. It only takes maybe like uh 2/8 of the tank, I guess. I don't know. Um, yeah, and I have another like as I was mentioning much earlier. I do have another one in there that it's 5 gallon. Like my daughter, when we went to Aquashella, um, went with the whole family. She had a lot of fun. They were doing like the kids aquascape contest. She was just having so much fun building her little tank. Obviously, she didn't win, but they let her. They let them keep the tank and the plants that they use. We bought some wood and some other stuff. Like another thing that they gave her was the gravel. Like because they already gave her aqua soil, but uh, there was another booth in there that was giving away bags of gravel. Um, so she grabbed one, I grabbed one too. And when we came back home, like a couple of weeks after, so I had told him the plants were like basically just storing water stuff. But a couple of weeks after, we started to build her tank because she wanted to get a better. She wanted to get another one that was going to be hers. Um, and I had no issues with that. But but yeah, now we have to just wait a little bit longer. The tank is ready. Yeah, I put some shrimp in there. Um, the tank is looking nice. And she actually got like a bulbasaur uh, little planter thing on the bottom too. That looks kind of very cute. So I have a video of it. I just haven't edited or done much with it. So I'll probably end up working on that and just posting it in the next couple of weeks, hopefully before the end of the month or something like that, just to show it off. Because she basically like she had an idea of how she wanted to do it. Um, and we went with it, and it looks really nice. So my beta, the beta that you have in there, it actually at the beginning it was like because the first thing I did is just put some shrimp in there, like basically the coals and like the wild shrimps that I have. I put them in a tank, let it be for a while for a while. Then when we found a beta, uh, we put it in there, and at the beginning he was going after the shrimp pretty heavily. Uh, but the shrimp are not dummies, so they learn pretty quick to hide and to get away. Now they're to the point that the beta just looks at the shrimp and says, like, yeah, you guys are too big and too fast for me to catch. I'm just gonna leave you alone. But at the same time, those shrimp do have little shrimplets, and those don't make it. Thank you, Garden. Yeah, and again, I like. I think that beta it's very pretty. I like it, but it look very different from when I had it initially. And I think that's my fault. Like when I had to move this tank, like just things got out of whack with it. And like I know that he had fin rot pretty badly, and it recovered, but the fins just don't look the same even after they recover. I'm still looking at them and I'm thinking, oh, maybe he still has some of that going on, but it's not that. The fins are just like that. They have like the coloring and everything looks just fine now. It's just looks a little bit off still, but it doesn't look off completely bad. It just looks a little off. I don't know if it will recover eventually, but to how it was before. But I kind of like it too, so I'm not don't dread about it too much. Hey George Aquaballs, how are you? All right, we're 3 minutes to two. I think JT should be joining, so probably in the next like 2 minutes after, I'll just shut down the stream and we can all go there, or we can all go to. I always forget their name. The fish room is also streaming it too. Hopefully, I should probably make somebody a mod. Obviously, that has to be sent. As a moderator. Yeah, sure. Managing moderator. Yeah. So I just made Sunny a mod. If I don't know if she's able to do it. I put Coro as well as a mod. So if they want to add the links of the people who are going next. Hey Whip, how are you? Let's get tank. But yeah, in a few minutes we should be able to go to the next stream. Cora, I made your mod in the last 5 minutes. I don't know how much habit can you raise. um, I don't know when I'll stream again. So again, it was more of a spur of the moment. So hopefully everybody was happy that we could all chat and hang out for a bit since Rico wasn't streaming today. I certainly enjoy just chatting with you guys because, you know, it's better than actually fully being engorged in my work. Let's see if I can stop this for a second. Yes, definitely Cake Boy. I that's one of the reasons I cannot enjoy. Like I miss uh the morning show, the aquatic morning show. Because usually my mornings were set for a lot of the mindless stuff, like a lot of the stuff that I just have to go over and like click on this, wait for that, click on this, wait for that. So I was able to participate in chat when Rico started to doing the mid midday streams basically, and just stopped, and I kind of like push some of the stuff towards that time of the day so I could pay a little bit more attention. Um, but yeah, it was it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to hang out with everybody in here, and I gotta say thank you. I mean, like I guess I did make it through one stream. I'm definitely not Eric in going through every single one of the comments because I'm pretty sure I missed something, and I'm very very sorry if I did. Um, I am not a good reader. That's for one. That's one of my weaknesses. I'm pretty sure I have dyslexia. So I always, whenever I read something, I have to read it like 3 times just to be 100% sure I read it correctly. Uh, but yeah, thank you everybody for joining the stream. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here because it's already 2 minutes after 2, and there are 2 streams going. JT and the fish room. So I think Sunny already posted the links in there. So I'll see you. I'll see you there. Thank you for joining, everybody. Bye, guys.